You're welcome back to my channel. Are you a returning subscribers? I say welcome back to the channel. Are you a first time subscribers? I still say welcome to the channel. In this channel, we'll talk about life issues, general life issues. We also do DIYs and also we take tutorials. So I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being here today. It means a lot to me. Please, if you are a first time subscriber or if you're a first timer to this channel, make sure you do not leave before subscribing to the channel, because believe me, I still have a lot of bumper package for us on this channel. So make sure you subscribe before you leave, and when you subscribe, also do well to click on the notification bell, because from time to time I'll be dropping videos and you don't want to be told about them. So it is better that you click on the notification bell, so that whenever I drop a video, you get to see the video. And today on the channel, we are going to be looking at the topic postpartum depression. You see, postpartum depression is one phenomenon that is not common in this part of our world. No, not really that it's not common, but it's something that we are not really familiar with. Because in Africa, we believe that giving birth should be a moment of joy. But if after giving birth, something else, you see a mother behaving somehow or not behaving of the way that is expected of somebody that just gave birth, people will start questioning. And most of the times, we'll heap it on the fact that is either the woman is possessed or the woman is sick or there's something wrong with the woman. But in most cases, it is not really so. It is not a matter of being possessed, because postpartum depression does not really have anything to do with a spiritual problem. But because we don't have any other word that we can use to describe it in this part of the world, we end up saying that the person is possessed, or we end up saying that it's the work of the witches, or we heap it on one spiritual being or the other. So today I want to enlighten us on what postpartum depression is all about. Now, postpartum depression has to do with depression that starts after giving birth. We said postpartum, which means after birth. So, postpartum depression is depression that usually starts after giving birth. It's not as if before giving birth that the person is depressed. It's not as if sometimes it cannot start before giving birth. But in the 90% cases, postpartum depression usually begins after giving birth. Some people look at it, or some people place it at between 4 to 6 weeks after giving birth. So it is likely that most people that develop postpartum depression usually develop it from 4 weeks, between the day that they gave birth, to 4 weeks or 6 weeks after giving birth. So it's a depression that comes after childbirth. What causes postpartum depression? Most of the times you see women, in the course of giving birth, they pass through a lot of challenges. Some women do have prolonged labor. Some women, after having that prolonged labor, they will still have to go through CS in order to bring out their baby. Some women have one trauma or the other. Now, the last time I went to the hospital, I saw a woman whom they say that she has been in labor for complete 3 days. 3 days. Now, that experience, just imagine a situation where somebody will be having labor pain continually for 3 days. And the worst part of it is that even after that 3 days, she was not able to dilate more than 6 cm. And because of that, when the doctor started noticing that both the mother and the baby are already in distress, they decided that the best thing to do is to carry out a CS, which is still what? Another pain for the mother. Now, most women, after going through that experience, you discover that after giving birth, they become what? Depressed. So most times, postpartum depression come about as a result of what? Different experiences and challenges that women face in the course of giving birth. So now, it is not only childbearing experience that brings about postpartum depression. Sometimes postpartum depression can also be as a result of hormonal changes. Sometimes it can also come about as a result of sleep deprivation. So these are some of the factors that can bring about postpartum depression: prolonged labor, trauma during childbirth, sleep deprivation, or even hormonal changes. And then, how do you know that you have postpartum depression? Now, in this case, I'm going to be sharing my own personal experience. You see, after giving birth to my baby, we stayed in the hospital. I was observed for 24 hours. So after the observation, I was checked, I and my baby, and we're asked to go home that we are okay. But then we are asked to bring the baby. I gave birth on a Friday. So we are asked to bring the baby back to the hospital on Monday for them to give him his first immunization, which is the BCG and others. So on getting to the hospital that Monday, when they checked my baby, they had to first of all check for jaundice before giving the BCG. So when they checked my baby that very day, they discovered that my baby had jaundice, and the jaundice was high that they had to admit us so that he can undergo light therapy. Now, in the course of that admission, I was practically alone. There was nobody with me. Now, I've not given birth before. I didn't even know how it felt. I was hoping, being the last child, that when I would give birth, that my mother would be there, my sisters would be there, my brothers would be there. But because of the COVID situation, I found myself being alone after delivery. My mom could not come around immediately because of the lockdown, and also at that period she was sick. So I was the only one in the hospital with my baby. Now, just check a situation, a woman that just put to bed. At the same time, she had to stay in the hospital to take care of her baby. At the same time, she was still going through the pain that came about as a result of that childbirth. So already it was difficult for me staying alone. And then, unfortunately for me, after giving birth to my baby, he refused to suck. It was not funny. He refused to suck, and because of that, he was crying continually. His baby would cry in the morning, cry in the afternoon, cry in the night, and I didn't know how to handle him. I was alone. My husband was also a newbie, so both of us were clueless. And as if that was not enough, my baby don't sleep in the night. From 9 p.m. till maybe around 3, he will just be crying. And while he's crying, I don't even know how to pacify him because he does not suck, because he doesn't know how to suck as of then. So he doesn't suck. He refused to take the bottles, and I was asked not to give no, I was actually giving water, but then he doesn't even take the water. So it was practically a struggle to feed him. And in addition to that, because I was in the hospital, I was not able to really care for my episiotomy well. And then I had a breakdown. I had a breakdown of the suture actually broke down, and I had to undergo another suture. And as if that was not enough, I also developed high BP and edema too. Then my leg just swelled up, and it was as big as the leg of an elephant. So all of this combined, and it made me to start hating my baby. You can imagine, that baby that I had to struggle and pray and cry to God for. I started hating him. In fact, in my mind, I was saying, why did I even have to give birth to this baby at this period? Why did the baby has to come at this period? Why did the baby not just wait a little bit before coming out? Now, the truth is that I was so stressed up. I was under serious stress that I did not know how to handle it. And because of that, the sight of my baby started irritating me. In fact, not just the sight of my baby, practically everybody that comes around me, I just look for a way to discharge the person, to let the person go, because I was under stress. And then, as if that was not enough, I had to also deal with the hospital staff where my baby was admitted. And these people will come to you in the morning because there are so many children on admission at that period. They will be looking for a way to just do everything and bypass without even knowing how the baby. Most times they will just come, look at the baby, and tell you, okay, is your baby has a. I hope your baby, the light is still on and all those stuff. They don't really check every other thing. So all of this made me to be depressed. I hated my baby. I hated myself. I hated my husband. And I even hated my mom for not being around, for not being there for me at that period. So it was that bad. It was that bad. I did not know how to deal with it. A woman that just put to bed, a baby on admission, baby that is not eating and crying all the time, and then the breakdown of my suture and everything. So to me, it was as if it was the end of the world. Most times I would just leave my baby crying on the bed and enter inside the toilet, lock myself. I would just be crying. I will cry and cry and cry and cry, and when I feel I've cried to the point I want, I will come out. Sometimes all I want to do is just to shout. I just want to scream out loud for anybody that cares to hear, and I don't care who hears or whatever the person's opinion may be or not. Do you know that at a particular point, I was even thinking about giving her my baby for adoption, as in giving it to another person. Anybody that wants the baby should come and take the baby and raise it. It wasn't a joke. It was that serious. So that is what postpartum depression can do to you. Because as of that time, I was not getting enough sleep. At that time, I was in pains. At that time, I did not have anybody to help me out. So all of these combined, and they actually scattered my system. But thank God that gradually, with the help of my husband, and then my mom came around, I was able to overcome it. The fact that I was able to overcome it, so there are some women that are not as lucky as I was. Now, the other day I read in the news that there was a woman that actually killed her own baby. And people were calling her all sorts of names. But me on my side, I actually understood from the point where she was coming from. Now, I'm not trying to justify what she did, but then, in as much as what she did was not bad, we should also try to reason with her. Because sometimes the depression, that it might be that much that the only thing that you can think about is just to look for the easy way out. And since it was the baby that brought about the depression, or the experience of having the baby that brought about the depression, some women can decide to just do away with the baby. Some go to the extent of hurting their baby. At the end of the day, they will start regretting. Well, it is not really their fault. It is what? Postpartum depression. So when we see women that just put to bed, acting somehow, acting the way that we don't expect them to act, let's try to observe them and help them, because most of the times they don't do it with their right senses. Most of the times they do all those things because they feel that they do not have any other choice. Now, just take for instance a woman that just put to bed, let's say twins. Yes, a woman that just put to bed a set of twins. And this woman is alone, and being twins, the two of them will be hungry, and she will have to nurse the two of them. While one is nursing, the other one is crying. How will she cope? So that is why when we see most of those things, we should try as much as possible to look for a way to help these people out, instead of just condemning them or saying that they are possessed or saying that it's the work of the devil. Because most times it is not the devil's work, it is something that we can as well take care of. Now, how do you overcome postpartum depression? The first thing that you need to do when you notice that you have postpartum depression is to accept the situation. Because sometimes most of us live in denial. Instead of us to accept that we are not okay, that we need help, you see us start praying and casting and binding and calling one devil, accusing the other devil, or this person or the other person of being responsible for our situation. Most times it is not anybody's fault. So the first thing that you need to do when you notice that after giving birth that you are not okay is to accept that what you are passing through is postpartum depression, because sometimes acceptance is one of the ways through which we can get help. So you need to do what? Accept that this is what is happening to you. And when you accept that this is what is happening to you, then seek help. Look for people that have been in that situation before. Talk with them. You can also talk to your doctor. There are sometimes in some cases where they will have to give a drug that can help you to take care of the situation. There are also some cases that all you need is just to talk to the doctor, and the doctor will put you through on what to do. So seek help. Do not just be quiet. Don't say that if you say it out, that people will start seeing you somehow. Yes, let them see you somehow. But after seeing you somehow, the main thing is that you get the help that you need. So forget about what people will say. Forget about who will accuse you or who will not accuse you, and seek help. It is very, very important. Most times you cannot deal with it alone. You actually need somebody to help you deal with it. Then in addition to that, look for a support system. Look for a support system. Childbearing is not a child's play. It is not something that one person can handle. Let people help you. You can call your relations. You can call your friends. You can even call professional nannies. Anybody at all. Seek help. Get a support system. You must not do everything alone. There are some women, after giving birth, you see them washing their children's clothes, cooking food for the entire family, going to the market, and we're talking about maybe like 3 days after giving birth, just to prove the fact that they are good wives or they are wife materials. My dear, you are not proving anything to anybody. Look for people to help you out. If you can afford it, get household machines like washing machine. Use it to wash. If you can afford a nanny, hire one. If you can afford a house help, hire one. There has never been anybody in this world that suffering makes a better person. If you can afford it, go ahead and seek help. If your relations are not there, you can call them to come over. Let them help you out, because it is not easy. You need a support. You've not just gone through, or you've just gone through a very, very stressful period, a very, very stressful and strenuous activity. So you need people to help you in order to get back to your feet. So do not just be quiet and don't try to prove to be a superwoman. We are all super the way we are. So seeking help or looking for support is not going to make you stronger than the other person. And in addition to that, make sure that you try and engage in activity that you love most. Hang out with your friends. Hang out with your friends. Invite them over. Have chats. Talk. Call them. And have them call you too. Sometimes just one drink with a friend can be the solution that you are looking for. So when you notice that you are passing through postpartum depression, do not be quiet. It is something that most women in the society are facing today. But because they don't want to be labeled a witch, or because they don't want to be labeled wicked or insane, you see most people dying in silence. So please, this is something that is very, very serious, and all of us need to take it serious. Given that the processes involved is not something that is easy. If after undergoing the process and you discover that things are no longer the way it used to be with you before, please try as much as possible to seek help. Now, this is where we are going to be ending for today. I know that there are mothers that are watching this video today. I will not mind if you share with us your own experience with postpartum depression. Did you experience it after giving birth? If you did, how were you able to overcome it? Just try as much. I'll be so happy if you can drop your comments on the comment section and tell me what you think about this video. If this video has been helpful to you, if it has been informative enough, please try to give me a thumbs up and also leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Till I come your way next time, this is Uju. And the girl that you have in your life, that lady that you have in your life, continue to protect her because she is your responsibility. I'll see you very soon. Do take care of yourself. Bye.